the other thing I did was to put people around me that are doers, that executors.
That ginger you.
Like choleric people. Like my husband is choleric, my best friend is choleric, my sister is choleric. You know, so when I'm doing the dreaming and I'm like, oh guys, I have this idea. They're like, oh yeah, go and buy something. Where do you need money? Yeah, ginger, let's do it. And I'm like, oh guys, calm down. I'm still ideating. No, you're going to ideate for years. You are doing it today.
And I think this happens to a lot of people where you want to get the idea thought through perfectly. You want to have the perfect plan, but sometimes
just do it.
Like just do it,
yeah.
You know. Of course, it doesn't mean that you should do a shabby job or
course.
should not be excellent or good quality and all that, but you can spend days and months and years dreaming, but actually you need to be doing, right? So just do it.
Yeah, just do it. And if you don't like something about yourself, change it.
My name is Aurelua Adekoya and I'm your host for Tiki Talks. What is Tiki Talks, you might say? Tiki Talks is your career and business podcast where you learn about how to grow and how to navigate on your career and business journey. Did you just finish school? Are you 0 to 5 years out of school? There's definitely 1 or 2 things that you can learn on Tiki Talks. So make sure you follow us on YouTube and IG. Tiki Talks is TIKKYTALKS, Tiki Talks. Ensure you're following us and catch up on all the other previous episodes that we have on YouTube and on Instagram. Yeah. Hello and welcome to today's episode of Tiki Talks. As you know, on this season, I'm having amazing guests. I carefully curated every single person that is here on our show. And today, I have an amazing, exciting personality, and she calls herself the Creative Disruptor. The first time I heard about that was on her birthday, where she had a t-shirt and then she had it, and I'm like, interesting, you know. I have known her for quite a number of years, you know, and she's an exciting person. So join me to welcome Mrs. Do you want to be known as Mrs.?
Yeah, I'm married.
Okay, so join me and welcome Banke. I don't want to murder your okay, Subair. Yeah. Yeah, so before we started, I was just chatting, asking Banke some questions and everything, and trust me, I was blown away. So Banke, you studied French, right, in school,
yes,
and how is a French woman a creative disruptor? Like, I'm wondering, like, okay, what is the correlation? First of all, how did you even get into French? Did you really want to do it?
No.
Interesting.
Yes.
So, how did that happen?
Okay, first of all, thank you so much for having me on your show.
Welcome.
I'm super excited to just, gist with you and just share with you. So, I mean, I studied French because I wanted to do international relations, but I had to take maths for me to enter that department, and I don't like maths. So they were like, oh, is that I do that, or there's French. And French didn't require maths. So I'm like, okay, I'll go with French. So that's just the short story.
Okay, let me put you on the spot a bit. Speak a little French for us.
Bonjour tout le monde. Je
m'appelle
Banke Subair.
God. French is such a romantic language. Like, when you hear French, it sounds so sweet. I said, if my husband should have toasted me in French, I wouldn't have taken as long as I did to breathe for him.
Actually, true, yeah.
Interesting. So what is, I know that one. My name is Aurelua. Je m'appelle. Okay.
I was about to say, je suis très contente.
I think the French has such a twist to it. Like, it just sounds very lovely. Interesting.
It's a very interesting language.
Yeah.
It is.
Okay. So away from French, and then how did you? Obviously, you're not into international relations.
No, I'm not.
So when did you know that you were not going to do that?
So the way I see my life is that I'm like an onion bulb, and I'm just uncovering all my layers. So it's not like as if I'm just going into things knowing that I'm not going to use whatever I've studied before or I've dabbled in before. I'm just peeling the layers and discovering myself.
There for a moment. You know, that analogy you use, I think it applies to a lot of people, but they just don't know.
Yeah.
So they have peeled one layer and they're restricting themselves to the first layer, but there is so much more to them, right? And so we need to, there's this phrase that people like, she's talented. This person is talented. But guess what? We all have talents.
I love that.
We all have.
You know, I was telling my friend the other day that, because she was like, Banke, I'm not really creative. I'm like, everybody is creative. We have high functioning creatives like myself. You know, I also have someone that, you know, Icon. So we have like high functioning creatives, but every single person on earth, we're born from a creative God. So there's no way we cannot be creative.
Yes.
So when you say I'm not creative, I'm like, you've not just dabbled, like you've not just like, tapped into that part of you. That's why you think you're not creative.
I love it. All right. So when you came out of school, so what did you do? I knew you as a dancer, actually. Do you still dance? Are you still running?
I still dance, but not on a professional level. I mean, age and life and responsibilities.
And when you get into some ages,
exactly, you're like, just maintain yourself. But yeah, I was in dance group for like the most part of my university days. It was a Christian dance group. I don't still dance, but I mean, I just did that for a while because I was passionate about it, and it was also an avenue to preach the gospel. So just imagine doing what you love, dancing, and also preaching the gospel. It was like, like, you know, buy one, get one free, two, in one package. So I did that for a while.
Okay. So when you got out of school, so what did you immediately
do? So I mean, I really thought, if I tell you, so I wanted to be an hostess.
For real? See, let me blow your mind. I also wanted, in fact, I had a plan for my life. Like I said, okay, hostess is not a serious job. So I'll do it for like 3 or 4 years. Because I used to look at all those Virgin Atlantic, Emirates, you know, in their heels and their cars.
Oh my God, that was the same inspiration. I'm like, I just like the way they look, very cute, very prim, very proper.
Yes.
You know, so I wanted to be an hostess. So I was like, okay, maybe I'll use my French to do that. But that didn't work out. Then I started to work as a media executive during my NYSC. I developed a passion for that, so I did that for a while, copywriting, content writing. So during that period, I remember I went for this Daystar, what's it called now? DSAP.
Yeah, the academy.
The skill acquisition program, Daystar skill acquisition. So I learned photography. So I do know some things because I did photography for a year. I used to shoot weddings.
For real? Interesting.
So when I tell you that I do a lot of things, that's why I'm like, do you know what?
I don't even know up to half of the things that you do.
So I did that. I mean, I remember back then, people used to say, Banke photos. I'm just like,
wow.
You know, but I did that. And then, to be fair, to be honest, because I think we can be honest here, right?
Of course, please.
I was the kind of person that I get tired or bored easily. It's just my personality. Like, if I'm doing something, I'm looking for the next exciting thing. Now, of course, it has its cons because you need stability, you need consistency. You can't just be hopping around. And for years, I didn't mind doing that, you know. But when I started getting feedback like, why are you everywhere? You look like you're confused.
Wow.
Today, we know you for photography. Tomorrow, we know you for... Because I used to make bags.
Really?
I used to make bags.
Oh
I used to make beads.
But I used to make... Wait, pause. How did you get into, like... First of all, like, even if I want to make bags, how will I go and buy leather, sewing machine? Like, I don't even know the history to all. So how do you dabble into these things?
So I'll refer back to the onion bulb, like analogy I gave you. So the photography was because there was nothing to do at that point. And I think it was during strike, one of those ASU strike. So my mom said we should go for DSAP. So I learned that. I'm like, okay, this is fun. And I'm an artsy person, so I did that. Now for the bag making, it was during NYSC. You know, they have this skills program during NYSC. So I learned bag making there. And I'm like, this is really cool. So I did it for a while, but I never really went commercial with it. I only made bags for like a few of my friends. Because I was like, this is tedious. I was like, to start buying leather, doing measurements, folding. I'm like, So I made a feedback. It was really cool, and I could have actually built on it. And probably maybe today I'll have had a very big
brand, like,
but I
BB, Banke's bags.
You know. But I just said, nah, it's not for me. The cards making, also the same thing. I was at home and I wasn't doing anything, so I used to make cards. Like,
what kind of, like,
handmade cards? Yeah, I used to make like from scratch. I'll buy cardboard, cut it.
Interesting.
Yeah, so I remember like one year Valentine's Day, like friends, family, they ordered a lot of cards for me. I did. I mean, even in school back then, I used to make cards for like people. Then I started making earrings. Yeah, so I used to make earrings with.
So how did you learn how to make earrings?
So that's the thing. So now, you know how I mentioned that there are some high-functioning creatives. Now, for me, I sleep ideas, I dream ideas, I breathe ideas. So like, as I'm here right now, as we're here, I'm like, as we're trying to like think of things, okay, as we're certain place, I'm thinking of ideas of how we can fix that. That's how my mind works.
But how do you turn idea? Because me too, I have ideas. I have idea, but when I get stuck in implementing the idea, so how do you move from ideation to reality? Like, you said earring, you said bag, you said photography, like, I don't know.
It's a valid question.
Because a lot of people also have ideas.
True.
There's some people that can dream for, and you are like, turn this dream to reality. Uncool.
So I think for me, I'm also, I mean, I don't know, I can talk about personality. So I'm a melancholic. Some people don't really believe in that, but I mean, it actually applies. So melancholics, they take their time to like understand things. They're very organized system. So most times I have ideas, I don't implement.
Okay.
So, but I got to that point where as I started to get older, I'm like, I can't just be faffing and be looking and be dreaming. Dreaming doesn't get you anywhere. You know, you can dream from today to tomorrow, but if you don't apply what you're, it's like knowledge, it's applied wisdom. So if you don't like, you know, do what you're thinking, somebody else, and ideas don't come in singular form, they come in streams. So if you get this idea today, trust me, that it doesn't just come to you. Somebody else has gotten the idea. So most times it's first to do it, first mover's advantage. Sometimes it's the quality, the best to do it. First to do it, best to do it. So sometimes, so back then, when I got that, you know, ginger of, okay, you know, I can't just be dreaming. Let me even try and see if there's a market. So if I just have an idea today, the next day, I'm going to the market. I don't waste time.
You know, I like what you said, that you weren't always like this.
No.
And I see that people also get stuck in that role to say, I'm not that kind of person. I'm not a, you know, I heard something, my pastor said something in church, and he said, he was talking about purpose and all, and he said, well, Jesus did die in time.
Do you understand?
Like, it is purpose in life to come and die. But he had to die, and he came to earth to do it, right? So the fact that you find yourself, oh, I'm not, maybe I procrastinate a lot, you know, I dream a lot, but I don't, you know, bring them to reality. It doesn't mean that you have to stay there and say, this is how I am, you know. So you understood who you are, right? And you took steps to move out of that person.
100%.
Because you realize that idea alone cannot get you anywhere.
Trust me. And the other thing I did was to put people around me that are doers, are executors.
That ginger you.
Like choleric people. Like my husband is choleric, my best friend is choleric, my sister is choleric. You know, so when I'm doing the dreaming and I'm like, oh guys, I had this idea. They're like, oh yeah, go and buy something. Where do you need money? Yeah, ginger, let's do it. And I'm like, oh guys, calm down. I'm still ideating. No, you're going to ideate for years. You are doing it today. You know?
That's another thing. Sorry to cut you. That's another thing I love. Like, and I think this happens with a lot of people where you want to get the idea thought through perfectly. You want to have the perfect plan, but sometimes just do it.
Just do it.
Like, just do it, you know. Of course, it doesn't mean that you should do a shabby job or should not be excellent or of good quality and all that, but you can spend the days and the months and years dreaming, but actually you need to be doing, right? So just do it.
Yeah, just do it. And if you don't like something about yourself, change it. I mean, let me give you a good example. I used to stutter. Like I used to have.
For real?
Like I used to like.
Interesting.
I used to stutter, but like I didn't like it because number one, it didn't make me confident to speak to people because I'm scared I'm gonna go. So I started talking to myself in front of the mirror. I started taking time to enunciate my words. I started learning like phonetics via Google. So I would, okay, how do you pronounce this word?
You know, I used to listen to you when you talk. I said, Banke has come again. When Banke is talk, ordinary video, Banke will be like, you know, it shows that you are deliberate.
Exactly.
I can hear the intentionality when you speak,
yeah,
right?
Exactly.
So I see where that came from.
Exactly. So like 10 years ago or 15, this is Banke of 15 years ago is not the same Banke of today. Like, you know, back then I mean, the stutter once in a while can still like, you know, seep in. But because I've taken like conscious effort to work on it, it's not as bad. So if you don't like something about yourself, change it.
Change it.
Yeah.
Interesting. Love it. Love it. Love it. Yeah. So we stopped at earring, and then from earring, where did you go?
So I think I mean, after doing the earrings and the cards and whatnot, I now became like a blogger. So I used to blog for like a blogazine. That's what they called it back then. So I used to handle like the food section, come up with like creative recipes. So
did that start from, you mentioned that your NYC was in creative writing?
No, the NYC I just did the bag, the skill.
Okay,
yeah,
but you mentioned you were in creative.
You're very correct. So I did my PPA with like a branding company, and I was their media executive.
Did you get, you know how NYC is these days? Did you work your posting there, or You were just posted
No,
there?
I wasn't posted there.
Okay.
I made sure I got into that place. Yeah, and I stayed there for like almost 2 years. My very first boss, shout out to Mrs. Opeke.
Oh.
Like she's one of the people that helped me in my journey to becoming a multi-faceted, serial entrepreneur, because she's also a serial entrepreneur, and I learned a lot from her.
Okay.
But yeah, I did media, like I was a media executive there, and then I also learned how to edit videos, how to like, do creative writing. So from there, I worked with an advertising firm as their creative copywriter.
Okay, all right. And then after that, what did you do?
Okay, so let me just like fast forward. So after I worked with the advertising company, I was working as a copywriter, and it was then 2016 that I was walking in my sister's compound, and then I saw a pile of 20 tires, used tires. They were just lying fallow. Mosquitoes were like enjoying themselves on the tire. And I'm like, and me being the creative that I am, my mind was already thinking, I'm like, this tire that is just here, there's nobody's using it. And I was thinking, tires are like round. If you put like wood under, you can form a table. I think that's possible. So I Googled, and I saw that, like I said, no idea is new. It's an exercise. There's nothing new under the sun. So when I Googled, I saw that apparently in Europe, it's a thing where people actually upcycle tires. So I'm like, it's not even a, because I like novelties. I'm like, it's not even a novel, but I'm like, I don't think I fit Nigeria.
Exactly.
So I made my first table, and I didn't plan to turn it into a business.
So how did you, again, from my
how did I do it?
Like, did you call carpenter
that's what I did.
Come on, put the carpenter didn't look at you funny, that
he
madam.
Did, actually.
Are you
Mr.
all right?
Sunday stressed me. Mr. Sunday, it stressed the living day out of me. So I called the carpenter. I did a sketch, on the pad. I'm like, I want to do this, and it's like with tire. I'm like, yeah, with tire, it's possible. Don't tell me it's not possible. And I'm like, I showed him pictures on the internet. He said, okay, so we worked it together. Okay, we're going to cut this. So we did the first sample. It didn't really look good. Then we did another sample. And I did it just because I just thought it was possible, not because I wanted to sell.
Yeah.
Now, it was my church at the time, Kingswood actually, that they had this Made in Nigeria fair. Yeah, so I just met with him, and then after I made the table, I put it in my house, and then a friend of mine, we go to the same church, and she was like, there's this Made in Nigeria fair happening in church. And did you know about it? I'm like, I didn't know. So, okay, bring your time, like tire, furniture, what am I? People were displaying, like, maybe jewelry, clothes. I'm like, how would I display one piece of tire furniture? Like
I can imagine how silly you
Yes, she's like, just bring it. And I didn't even have like a business card, no Instagram page, but I went to church, with the table. And I remember just having the table on a table, and people were passing. And then one very good-looking woman just comes to me. She's like, this is really, really cool. Is this a real table? I'm like, is it real tire? I'm like, yeah. She's like, where's your card? I'm like, oops. I said, I don't. I'm like, ma'am, we're producing you once you finish. She said, okay, what's your number? I give her my number. So I'm like, okay, Banke, this is apparently a thing, so I need to take it serious. So that's how Cyrus 45 Factory started, yeah.
Interesting, really, really interesting.
Yeah.
So you got workers. Then how did you get supply of tires?
So when I saw that it was a thing that people actually were going to buy, I'm like, okay, do you know a Banke? This one, don't just take up the passion and dump it, because I told you I get bored. I used to get bored. I'm better now. So I'm like, okay, do you know what? Let's follow through. So I started doing my research. I read up on it. Okay, what's the industry like? Is anybody doing it in Nigeria?
Yeah.
I found out some people were doing it. I wasn't the first, even though a lot of people think I'm the first, but I'm not the first. So I got the carpenter, which was very important. For the tires, I used to go to Olusosun. So that's the landfill, yeah. Because they are upcycled tires, they're used tires. So Olusosun sometimes I just go to the roadside, talk to vulcanizers. I'm like, do you need this tire? Oh no, we don't want to throw it away. Sometimes these PSPs come to take them to Loma. I'm like, okay, I show them what I do. That I make tires, I turn them into art. Oh, this is really nice. Oh, no problem. Take it for free, please. Come on, even help us. This tire has just been here. Carry. So of course, after a while, storage became a problem, because I'm just like, where will I? And I was living with my mom then. So I'm at the back of our house. My neighbors are like, hey, Joe, like, neighbor, your tires are becoming plenty near my window. So what I started to do was just take in batches and produce in batches, because I didn't have a storage system. But for supply, the tires were free, more or less, because they were everywhere on the road. People used to use tires as like road markers, parking markers, so that's how I got my tires.
And how about funding? Because I know a lot of people struggle with when you have a business idea. Oh, I need so amount. How did you fund your business?
For Cyrus 45 Factory, I first started it as Revamp. That was the name of the company. Revamp in terms of revamping old tires. So that's where I got the name from. But when I first started, I wasn't making any money per se. Like the money wasn't a lot because how many people really want to buy tire furniture? It's fascinating, but some people don't want it in their house. They're like, hey, okay, tire. So I took a break. I closed down the business for like 3 months. I fasted, prayed. I'm like, God, I really want to take this seriously, so that was when I got the name Cyrus 45 from Isaiah 45.
Wow.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. So when I got that name, I spoke to a couple of people, and my first investors were angel investors, my family, my boyfriend now, husband.
Ah, thank God.
My boyfriend at the time, husband now.
Thank God you married.
Yeah, good guy. So drop money that we believe in you. So I made like my first collection. So it had like an ottoman, there were chairs, there were tables. And I took pictures. I remember I collaborated with a couple of people because collaboration back then was like, even now, like collaboration is good because sometimes you don't have money, but you can swap, in kind. And then I did the first collection, and that's how I started.
Wow. This short conversation that we've had, I've learned so. I know, of course, now you're not just doing Cyrus 45. I contacted you a couple of years back. In fact, my friend still says thank you to me. He wanted to propose to his girlfriend, and then he needed like a doodle thing. You forgot to. Yeah. He's married now, he has a son, and he still tells me, oh, thank you. I used that to propose to my girlfriend, then now his wife, So I know that there's so much to you, but I've learned so much in this short conversation. You've talked about the onion bulb. I think for me, that was a light bulb moment, that the fact that don't limit yourself to just one layer that you see today, but that unfolding and unfolding and unfolding.
Yeah, because there's a lot more at your core. Like you feel like this is all that there is to you, but you now discover that when you are thrown in certain situations, you can actually do more. Like you can actually apply yourself more. It's like, I don't know if you've seen this movie, Lucy.
Yes.
Yeah, it's one of the good examples they use, that you don't know how much you can, like, of your brain you can optimize until you apply yourself. I'm like that right now. I tell people that I've lived many lives. I've been a photographer, I've been a bead maker.
I've made
and I love it. And one of my mantras right now is to live a full life so that I can die empty. I don't want to die with gifts in me. I want to, like, if the gift is to be an actor tomorrow, I will be an actor. I'm not ashamed. If people should say I'm confused.
Love it.
I don't care.
Love it. I love the fact that she's also not limited to just be, you've done career, you've done business, you've dabbled into the two and all that. You also talked about the fact that if you don't like something about yourself, you change it, right? If you feel that you have a weakness, it's not just that, oh, that's who I am, that's my personality. But there's actually something you can do, because people, you're not the first person with that weakness. People have that weakness and they found a way to overcome it, right? So doing something about that. You talked about your community. That funding, for me, that's so important. Because instead of looking for the 50 million, the 100 million, who are the moms that can drop some money? Who are the boyfriends? Yes, let's use them. Who are the boyfriends that can come and invest into your business? What can you start with? You said one ottoman, one table here. What can you start?
Very small, baby steps always.
Exactly, and then you build it into something much bigger. Thank you so much, Banke. It's been amazing having you on the show today.
Thank you so much.
And I hope you have learned a thing or two. You can feel free to go back and watch it on YouTube, where Tiki Talks, on IG, where Tiki Talks. Till I see you again next time, is Orolua signing out. Bye.
Bye.